I will say one that I saw today. It was just released 2 days ago. It's one called Paranormal Tales.
Paranormal Tales.
It's a body cam horror footage, and it gives me like really big like Blair Witch like movie vibes.
Paranormal Activity.
Yeah, Paranormal Activity vibes. So
yeah. Ugh. Yeah.
It's a hard
no.
It's a hard no for me.
Hello. Welcome everybody. Welcome in episode 31 of the Mustache Ride podcast. Tooth, that's crazy. I know I probably say it every episode. It's crazy.
I kind of like it. I like hearing that it's crazy because I listen to other podcasts and they do sort of the same thing. They're like episode 572 and we're not there yet, but we will be one day.
We will be. And I mean, perhaps it wears off, but I just feel like 31 is quite a commitment.
It is.
And I have dropped things pretty easily. So 31, I feel like I'm proud of us. Definitely.
I've seen half a recorded video that you never finished, and we're at 31 episodes. And I've done the same thing.
Yeah. And we have people that watch us live as we record this. Yeah.
Live people.
Right here at twitch.tv/mustacheridepod, because we record this show twice a month for your viewing pleasure. We do it live. So we can't cut out any of the bad stuff that we say.
Yeah.
But then we do later for YouTube. So if you're watching on YouTube later, hi. Thanks for watching.
Unless you don't see this.
Hear me say, so I cut that out. So you didn't hear what I just said later on YouTube. So
it's a good thing you didn't hear that. Honestly.
Yeah, I'm kind of embarrassed that I even said it live, but I had to make a point.
That's true. You did. Yeah,
I did. So before we get into all the fun topics we have set up for tonight, I want to know, Tooth, how are you? How's life?
Life is not too shabby. I've been doing some house projects. I put up some doors yesterday. I'm pretty crafty. I'm a crafty guy.
Did you post a picture in your Discord too?
I didn't. No, I probably will. I'll post a picture in the Discord. Yeah, it's I like being handy, but sometimes I don't, because I'm like, then you have to do the project. Like if they're like, can you help me with this project? It would be better if I could just say, no, I can't, because I don't do that. I don't know how to use these for things.
These are for keyboard and
these
mouse.
are keyboarding. But
yeah,
other than
understandable.
But it's okay. It's fun. I did some of that, but I've also been playing some games, finishing some games, which is important to me. I like to finish the games.
Yes.
I finished Fallout New Vegas.
Nice.
It's an old game. I've always played old games, so I'm gonna spoil them. I got an ending where I sided with Yes Man and the robots.
Yeah.
At the time, it seemed like the best choice. It was between that, or people that like try to take over whole cities, which is the NCR, or people that like literally put people on crosses, which is the Legion, and that seemed a little yucky to me. I didn't want to do that, so I sided with the robots, and they ended up killing everybody.
Yeah, well,
or all the other factions, at least. It took care of everything. But it was a really funny scene where where I told Yes Man to pretty much punt the leader of the NCR off of the Hoover Dam. And so that was a pretty funny clip. That was a good clip.
Awesome.
I'm thinking about going back and playing the other endings at some point. It really stinks that I didn't do like a save as before I ruined all my relationships.
Well, that's okay. Bright side is that you did really commit to a choice, and you just got to live with that now.
That's true.
Or play the whole thing again, which I wouldn't put it past you to do.
Yeah. No, I could do that. I don't know if I'll do it on stream, but I think I'll definitely play it again as a game. And so I went on to a new game, which is A Bard's Tale. It's an old game, circa 2005, I think, for the PlayStation 2. It's this weird, like, isometric, like, game. where you're playing like it's an action RPG, where you're going around and you're sort of like dungeon crawling and like setting up skills. It's sort of like a D&D style thing as you're playing as a bard. He's not very charismatic. Like the voice lines and everything, all the dialogue is really funny because he's like talking to the narrator's talking back to him. You're talking to characters in game, and everybody's like pretty funny, and it's clear that everybody hates him. Like you literally go to this scene in the game where it's like talking about his like how famous he is in this town, and then you go to that town and it's literally everybody trying to kill you as soon as you get there.
Infamous.
Yeah, infamous, not famous. And so
that's funny. That's cool though. I was watching you play it a little bit. It gave me, because I've seen it on Game Pass, I think, or something. I've seen it around, never played it. It gives me like, it has that like Diablo 3 isometric view, like you said. Yeah. And it gives me like Stanley Parable Fable vibes with the dry British humor.
Yeah.
Super funny. It's a really goofy, funny game. Fun to watch you go through that.
It is really goofy. It has this one scene where you're like going to find this guy named Bove. And then these, like, you think you find him and you talk to him. He's like, oh no, like Bove, like I'm Bove, but you're looking for the other Bove. And they send you around town, and there ends up being 4 different people that all look exactly the same, named Bove. And it turns out they were just playing a trick on you, and you were looking for all 4 of them.
Oh.
And you get to then you're like, what the hell, Bove? Like, you couldn't just go. Yeah, thanks, Boves. But it's a funny game. It has a really weird, like the camera is weird. Like it's isometric, but I feel like in the worst way possible. Like it's
really top down.
It's like almost all the way top down, but not quite. And so it seems really weird for that era. Like the 2005 era seems like it was beyond that already. But I think it's purposeful. Like I don't know when it will be, but the funniest part is the jump, because there's a jump, but you don't know you're jumping. Like, and I don't know why you ever would. Yeah. So,
yeah.
But it's pretty.
From what I saw of the game, there's a lot going on. Like at one point, you were swarmed by like a group of 12 or 14 wolves.
Yeah.
And that was all happening on the screen at once. And I can imagine it's probably like to limit what's on the screen so that they can really dial in the optimization and make it all run smooth for the hardware back then.
I think that's probably what it is. That's true. Like I don't know. It's really weird. Like I have some gameplay pulled up right here, and you're sort of like walking around, and I feel like it's just the fighting is so awkward in it, because you're like everything just comes at you, and then all of a sudden you're just like totally surrounded by everything. And so it gets really challenging because the combat is hard. And I've recently got a bow, and I think it makes everything a little bit easier because I can sort of like back away from it.
Run away.
Yeah, run away and distance. Yeah, there is some cool stuff, like you can summon like people to like fight with you. And so I'm starting to get into it. It's actually a longer game than I thought. It's about 20-hour game-ish.
Oh, okay.
And I don't know how far through it I am. It's a weird game where you don't know what you're supposed to be doing. But there's like you know what you're doing because it's marked on the map, but you're like, what's the point of the game? And it's just a dungeon crawler. I'm coming to terms with it. Like that's what it is. You're just like dungeon crawling. And it's still fun. Still a fun game. It's worth a play because it is on Game Pass. For free. You could play it.
That sounds like a lot of content too.
It is a lot of content. Yeah. So I think it's a good content game.
Nice.
But beyond that, off stream, I've been playing Overwatch still, trying to grind up gold 4 right now, in open queue. And I think if I got all my placement matches in for support, I would be gold in support also. But I'm scared to play them because I know that I'm at that level where it's like you could quickly dive back into bronze in a heartbeat. And so I'm scared to do that. I need to play Minecraft Legends. It just came out, just released. It's exciting. It looks cool. I haven't watched any content of it yet, but I'm excited for that. I dropped Rocket League for a little bit, but I'm planning to go back to it here pretty soon. I rage quit out of it, which seems easy to do.
Very,
very easy to do. And then I've just sort of decided that I need to play more games. I feel like I just don't play enough games.
Yeah,
I don't know if you ever feel
like you say that every episode.
I do.
That's the thing you repeat.
Yeah, you're the opposite. Like you play so many games, and
I do.
What are some of those games? Can you tell me what are those games?
I feel like I'm just the kind of person that, like, besides Rocket League, I find it hard to stick with one game. It's like Rocket League's like the only game I've stuck with for this long.
Yeah.
And so, because I'm a variety kind of, like, I don't have, if I have a regular restaurant I go to, I don't walk in and order the usual that I get, because I don't get a usual. I switch it up a lot.
Okay.
Whenever I get food or anything. And so I think that kind of translated into my gaming habits. So I definitely get new games. That's probably a game developer's, I'm the guy that buys the game and then just doesn't play it, or plays it for 5 minutes and then never plays it again.
Yeah.
Because I just need something new on my palette. Something new, like Luck Be a Landlord.
Okay.
I had my very first ever gambling stream the other night. It was maybe, I don't know, last week or something, but Luck Be a Landlord. It's a sweet little indie game where you are given an apartment and a slot machine, and you have to use the slot machine to pay your rent for the apartment. And your landlord's a real hard ass, so your rent doubles every time you have to pay it. And then it slows down a little bit and you get a couple little things, but the big thing is that it's kind of like roguelike almost. So like if you don't make enough money during your spins to pay rent, then you get evicted and game over. You restart.
Oh dang.
And so the idea is to pick items, pick tiles on your slot board, your slot machine board, that will synergize and give you more coins, and then build upon each other to give you even more coins as you need more money to pay more rent. And it's a really simple but really cool concept, and they nail it. I think it was a fun game, and I tried really. Huh?
That was sponsored by Kick, right? Kick and Trainwreck, they all sponsored that.
Yeah, I was trying hard before the stream to like right before the stream to get my community like, oh, what? Sherman Cool's doing a gambling stream? That's so unlike him. But
nobody fell for
really
it.
Nah, they didn't take the bait. But
yeah.
But I took the bait when I saw Mega Man Battle Network 4. Well, Mega Man Battle Network Collection was finally released.
Collection
out on Steam. Yeah, so it's basically all the Battle Network games. Mega Man Battle Network. I was never a big Mega Man guy back in the day. Regular Mega Man. But Mega Man Battle Network was more my speed, because Mega Man was so hard. Really difficult games. And this game was not as difficult. It felt more balanced, I guess.
Okay.
For what I was capable of. But yeah, so yeah, it's the game you see on screen. And it's pretty simple, but it's a long RPG. They came out like on the Game Boy Advanced, but so pretty simple, and like the graphics aren't nothing to be excited about, but it's really cute, charming. The characters are great. The story's pretty cool, and the combat is a lot more fun than it looks. I think it's a lot more fun than it looks. It's active, like active turn based. It's hard to explain.
It seems sort of like anything I've seen of like a Final Fantasy turn-based fighting. Like the style seems sort of like that. Maybe I had to be in it to feel the action. Maybe
I'd say it's more like closest to Final Fantasy VII, because the Final Fantasy VII had like an action gauge where you had to wait for the gauge to fill before you could do an action.
Yeah.
And in this one, you wait for a gauge to fill, and then you pick like your chips. You have basically a hand of cards, and you can pick cards that synergize with each other, and then you can slot those in so that during the next phase you can use those chips, and then you have to wait for the gauge to fill to basically that's the loop.
Gotcha.
Pick the chips, do the attacks, and then pick the chips again, do more attacks. It's that's way too simple. It's a fun game, and who doesn't like Mega Man? Mega Man's just a real stand-up guy.
He's a cute little guy. You gotta love him.
So I bought the whole collection, both parts, 40, no, 30, maybe 40. I don't know. It was too much money, way too expensive each. And I bought both of them. But now I have them. I have all the Mega Man Battle Network games. And I'm so happy.
You have them forever. Like you'll never, well, maybe.
I mean, as long as Steam doesn't die or something.
Steam shuts down tomorrow. That'll be a bummer.
What would we do?
The implications of that is kind of too crazy to think about, actually.
I guess Game Pass would probably get bolstered.
Oh, yeah.
I guess Epic Game Store would probably pop off, huh?
Yeah, they would definitely pop off.
But luckily, Steam is still around, so
True.
that I can play wonderful games like The Quarry. My wife and I finished up The Quarry last week or something like that, not too long ago, and we made some decisions. Okay, so here's
decisions?
I got a bone to pick with The Quarry.
Okay.
Quarry's like, hey, have up to 4 or 8 or however many people and play the game together, right? And you play the game together, and only one person gets to control any character. Only one person gets to pick. Like, I guess if you have more than 2 people, there might be more of a majority rules kind of thing.
Yeah.
But with 2 people, it was on my account. I'm holding the controller. My way is the highway. Is like, it's only my decision that matters. So my wife could pick something else, and then if I just pick the opposite thing, it always happens. It makes it look random.
Yeah.
But then it makes you think it's going to be random, but it always picks mine. And then at the end of the chapter, it says 100%. You both pick the same thing every time, and so it's like all that. I was so hyped to play this with my wife because that's the kind of game we love, is when we get to work together and switch off or something. But nah, she was just sitting there the whole time, and we streamed it too. And so she's got her stream up, I've got mine up, and I'm the one doing the thing, and and she's sitting there watching me basically. And that's supposed to be her stream. I don't know. Doesn't feel like a good time.
I watched both of them. It was kind of nice. Like, her stream was just her yelling about all the bad decisions you were making, and your stream was like, I know that she said this, but I'm gonna do this instead.
Maybe that's the real thing. I'm just salty that all the blame's on me because I got like 4 people killed. I think only like 2 people made it out alive at the end of the game. So
you were killing people from the beginning. Like, it wasn't like,
well, I mean, we had a good run for a while, but yeah, it was pretty bloody. I'm not gonna lie to you.
From the first scene, I was like, oh man, like, this game is not gonna go well.
That cop, dude, was sus right off the bat.
He was so sus.
Yeah. So yeah, but The Quarry's over. It's over with. We made our decisions, and we are gonna live with them. Unlike most of the characters in The Quarry, our playthrough of The Quarry. Next, I'm sorry, I've got so many games. You're right. I gotta play less games.
No, you gotta play more games.
A couple new FPS games that I've gotten my grubby little mitts on. Game called X Defiant, kind of popping off right now. People are enjoying it. It's kind of like the next Call of Duty-ish thing. Looks very Call of Duty. Looks very like Call of Duty Black Ops 4 or whatever. Like the one with the Call of Duty with the factions. Or the different you know what I mean. The different character types. But yeah, it kind of reminds me of that. The guns feel good. It feels good the movement feels pretty good. Time to kill isn't too fast, it seems all right. There's a couple guns that I have grievances with, like the flamethrower, just like insta dead.
Insta death flamethrower. That makes sense though.
Yeah,
flamethrower insta death seems kind of realistic to me.
You get blasted with a flamethrower, like a napalm, kind of like even just like a quick tap. What's your quality of life after that?
I'm dead. I'm dead.
You're not gonna be happy.
I'm gonna force myself to death at that point. Like, a napalm strike on me, dude.
That's just,
I don't want that.
Melting skin.
I'm not gonna be in this game.
Face melting.
Yeah, I'm not gonna be in this game.
Anyway, X Defiant. It's been fun. I need to play it more, so I can really give some thoughts on what I think about it, but it's still in early access. They still got some optimization to do with it. So
how do you get the game?
See. I think I think it's a drops kind of thing. You have to watch an XDefiant partnered streamer for about a half hour. Okay. And then they whisper you the beta code. It's like a closed beta. It might be open now though. I don't know if they're still doing that.
Maybe I'll play it.
That's XDefiant. Yeah, you should play it. It's not bad. If you're looking to spice up your FPS life a little bit, just try something new. Try XDefiant or try Boundary. The next FPS game I'm talking about tonight. I've been playing this game. It's also in early access. Unfortunately, it's not free to play like XDefiant. This early access game, it was on sale for a minute, $22 or something like that. And I was like, it's on sale. It looks dope as hell. I'll just buy it. And so I bought it. I've been playing it a little bit. This is not my gameplay. This is just random YouTube gameplay. But my gameplay looks pretty damn similar. I'm just.
Oh yeah, I watched you play it, and it was like, oh my gosh, like you're
maybe
hacking.
A little better.
You're hacking.
Yeah. No, but it's been fun. It's like, okay, so just to describe it, 0G first person shooter. So you're floating around space in an astronaut suit with a fucking AK-47. It's kind of silly, honestly, when you think about it.
It is silly.
Yeah, but it's dope. And I'm super into space sci-fi stuff, and so this is right up my alley. Really enjoying Boundary. And there's a lot of there's weapon upgrade stuff. There's like progression and I play as a character Spike. This chick, you start with a grappling hook. Okay. And then you get her level 15, she gets a maneuverability device. And then for me, it was like click and scroll wheel, which I changed right away. It's like a side mouse button now, but you get an extra dash. And so you have like a sprint kind of button. Okay. And then you can also dash in whatever direction you're going. And that's been nice.
Dash.
It's hard enough to hit people in that game.
In 0G, you can dash. Interesting.
Yeah. Well, it's like air pressure release. Yeah. How do you move it all in space then?
Yeah, I don't think you do. I think you just float about. I think you gotta have boosters.
I'm no rocket scientist, so I can't refute that.
I do like that the bullets sound like they're the guns shooting sound like they're underwater or like in space. That's kind of cool. Like I like that.
Yeah,
that's cool.
I can't confirm or deny anything. I wonder what it actually would sound like.
What it reminds me of is when you play Halo 2 and you're going out on that mission where you're going out of the ship. The ship, yeah. And you're fighting the elites. It sounds very similar. So I like that. It calls back some of those like nostalgic Halo moments.
Yeah. Vibes. Yeah. It's underwater was a good way to put it.
Yeah.
That kind of sets it up. But yeah. So Boundary has been really fun to play. And I don't know, I'm gonna keep checking in as it's just in early access. So I'm curious to see how they'll change it as things go along. I've also been playing Contraband Police on my streams. I've been kind of moseying my way on through that. It's a really good game for streaming, for content. I highly recommend it because I stream for 3 hours at a time. Typically, I play this game on my stream maybe for 2 hour and a half or 2 hours at a time. It just seems like every session something crazy happens.
Yeah.
I didn't have time to pull it up, or else I would have found the clip because I have a really funny clip. The first time I got ambushed, I was standing here at the toll thing checking somebody's papers, and I had my knife out, just holding it. I'm just holding it while I'm doing my thing, and then like loud noise says ambush on the screen, and I just stabbed this guy. I just stabbed this guy. He's not involved at all. He's just the guy I was inspecting. The ambush is coming from the hills or something, and I just stabbed the hell out of this guy because I got spooked. I got scared.
Luckily, he was gonna be a prisoner though, right?
No, it said murdered up in the top corner of the screen. It was like murdered, big red letters.
Murdered him.
I said murdered. I'm getting ambushed. So yeah.
It's a really fun game to watch because it's like you think it would be really boring. Like it seems like it would be a boring game, but I think like if you're even like into it a little bit, like as a gamer. Like I feel like just the moments are so funny because you're like checking it and then you find the one thing you're like, oh my god, like you're from that one place. I can't let you in here.
Yeah. It's fun. I can just be like a big jerk because I'm just playing the role of this guy, this border patrol guy.
Yeah.
It's fun. It's a lot of fun. So Contraband Police, highly recommend it. Okay, I'm almost done. I swear to God. Super Auto Pets.
Okay.
I dipped my toe back into that a little bit. Mostly on my phone though. Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, I love Super Auto Pets.
The mobile experience is good.
Yeah, it's not bad. Yeah. And I've actually gotten a couple wins.
So no way! I've never won. I've never won in this game.
Small handful of times, no big deal. But yeah, since I've gotten back to it, I've won a couple times, and I'm pretty proud of myself, honestly. Because that game, I just always lost, just like you're saying, every time.
Tell the people what it is. Like, what is Super Auto Pets?
Is this a joke? Are you tricking me?
Some people might not know. Some people might not know.
Super Auto Pets is a game in which you pick little pet friends, and you have. Okay, I wasn't prepared for this. You're stumping me. So okay, think Slay the Spire. So like you have a turn, and then you have like 3 mana, right? Or you have 9 mana. Each little pet is 3, and so you can pick up to 3, or you can re-roll for 1. And you pick what you pick your pets. Each pet has like a description. You can synergize the pets, and then as each level goes along, you fight an opponent who's on the same level as you, and you go head to head with your pets. And whoever wins gets a win. Whoever loses gets a loss. 10 wins and you win. Chicken dinner. 5 losses and you lose. No chicken dinner.
No chicken dinner.
No. So
it's fun. It's a fun game to play. You can waste a lot of time really quickly.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah,
for sure. It's good though. And then Overwatch, been playing that, really fun. But also like I'm dying inside every time I play it.
Yeah, you feel bad about playing it.
I do. Yeah, it's like I could be enriching my life. I could be learning something, But instead, I'm playing Overwatch, and then Rocket League. I love you. Love you, Rocket League.
Yeah. Except when you have a teammate. That sucks. I think it sucks having a teammate.
I mean, I hate the player. Don't hate the game. You know what I mean?
Oh, I hate the players. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But I love the game.
Yeah, the game is solid.
I'm like one of the players.
Yeah, I hate that player. Yeah.
That's me. Yeah. I'm that guy.
Yeah.
That's okay though.
Steal the boost.
I'm a Rocket League. I've accepted this. I know.
Don't rotate. Steal the boost.
Steal the boost.
Miss
Only
the
go
shot.
For demos on your own team.
That's what
it'll work one day.
That's honestly what it feels like. I feel like everybody, if I ever play threes, God forbid, I feel like both teammates are stealing both corner boosts and driving into me to trap me in the middle so the other team scores a goal. That's what it feels like.
Yeah, well, that's basically what happens.
It feels like 5-on-1. That's what it feels like.
Well, that's just another Friday night for Tooth though, right? Come on. Anyway, segue. We have a fun new little segment that we call Indie Iceberg.
Indie Iceberg. Oh, I gotta go to a different screen.
Boom, Indie Iceberg. What's the noise an iceberg makes, Tooth?
That's a trick question. They don't make any noise. They're just a floating ice ball.
Wrong answer. I was looking for. Good try though.
I thought it was a trick question.
Nope, sorry.
I would have definitely went with
That
Is
was
that
good.
good?
See, you nailed it that time, but yeah, contest is over. So,
Oh,
Indie Iceberg. I guess we should explain what the hell this is.
yeah.
So, Indie Iceberg it's a new segment that we've
Okay.
thought of, otherwise known as Indie's Nuts, but Indie Iceberg.
Yeah.
For professional.
For
sake.
professional. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, we talk before the show, and we picked an indie game. I don't know, lesser known, maybe not, but indie specifically game that we don't know about, that we haven't played before, and that looks interesting to us. And we'll pull it up. We'll talk about it, and then in between episodes, we're gonna play the indie game, and we invite you to also play with us. And then next episode of Indie Iceberg Part 2, we'll discuss the game and the gameplay and how we like it. And it's just kind of an idea that we thought of to get people to try new games.
Yeah.
And then also to have like kind of a game club discussion kind of thing about some maybe lesser known games, to maybe just open our minds a little bit, right, Tooth?
Exactly. We should make a Reddit page.
Indie Iceberg?
Indie Iceberg.
Surely there's like scores of YouTube videos already called Indie Iceberg, going over the iceberg of indie games from the surface level to the deepest depths of the ocean levels of obscure indie games. Have you seen like iceberg videos?
No.
What?
I haven't. I mean,
super
I don't
big
think
trend.
so.
So it's like the deep web iceberg, where like the surface web is the top of the iceberg, and then you go on the Tor browser and you go on the deep web, and now all of a sudden you're at the bottom of the ocean, at the bottom of the iceberg, where all the, I don't know, just it's a visual representation of like the deeper you go down the rabbit hole, the more obscure and strange things get. And so there's a lot of different icebergs for a ton of different stuff. Okay. But this isn't that. This is just kind of a more simplified metaphor for talking about it surface level, and then actually playing it and getting into the meat of it. And when we discuss it later. So, yeah.
Maybe we should watch one of those videos sometime.
Yeah, that'd be fun. But I think I listened to one today. I think I listened to like an internet. What was it? It was like it was Lost Media Iceberg is what I was listening to. So basically just stories about a bunch of obscure lost media. A YouTube video that didn't get 10 views.
Interesting.
Uploaded 10 years ago. Like, and look at this video. It's weird.
Where do you find this stuff?
I don't know, man. Sometimes YouTube just plays it for me. Other times the thumbnail's really good. Either way, it's like ear candy for me. I love it.
Well, speaking of where did you find this? Where did you find our game that we're gonna show for Indie Iceberg?
I found it. I was watching a YouTube. Speaking of YouTube, I was watching a YouTube video by the channel The Spiffing Brit, and he played Peglin, which is the game that we're
It's called Peglin.
Which, again, I know that it's not an unknown game. A lot of people know about this game apparently, but it's quite an indie game. And yeah, the Spiffing Brit dude demolishes that game. Makes it look so easy.
He breaks it.
Yeah, look up that. I'll put the video in the description down below. Look up the Spiffing Brit Peglin. It was really funny, honestly. He has great content, but overall, it made me excited and wanting to play this game because part of me wants to do his strategy, but also part of me just my eyes were open to how fun this game could be if we just give it a try. So yeah, I elected for this one. I feel like next week I'm gonna pressure Tooth to pick something to force me to play because I feel like I just picked this one. And so, yeah.
It's cool though. I mean, it's a cool game.
Yeah, so
I like the bubble shooter, like that turns into like, it's not just a typical like bubble shooter game. Like it's forcing you to do something. Like I like the little battle that it has with it. Like it's a cool process.
So what do you have like the Steam page? What is read off the description?
Yeah,
if you don't mind.
I'll pull it
just
up.
To give like what the developer says the game is, and then we can kind of go from there of what I don't know what we're excited about it, because I know what I know about it is kind of like a roguelike kind of thing.
Yeah.
These past few years, I've been really into those kinds of games, and like the difficulty of them, because they can be difficult. Um, but yeah, with this game, I think you like throw orbs at a bunch of like balls, like a pachinko machine kind of thing,
It
and with
is.
that, that dictates like your damage to the enemies you're facing. Um,
So Peglin is a pachinko roguelike.
oh yeah, okay.
You fight enemies by collecting special orbs. That's the orbs. And popping pegs, which is the little bubble shooting aspect of it, to deal damage. So the more pegs you bust or pop, I guess, do you pop a peg? That is, I don't
Busting
understand.
pegs.
Busting
I'm out here
pegs.
busting pegs, baby.
And that's how you do it. You acquire special relics that radically change the game. So that's what the Spiffing Brit did. And
Oh, yeah.
ensure no two runs are the same unless you do what he did. Carefully survive in this unique turn-based RPG.
What do you think about turn-based games, Tooth?
I like turn-based games because I really like D&D.
Yeah.
And I like when you can influence your turn really heavily through external things. So like I think about like basic turn based, right, as like checkers. Like you get a turn, I get a turn. There's no real thing that I can do except evaluate what you do and then do it. But then you go to chess and it's like different, right? Like all the pieces do something differently. I have to evaluate not only what you're doing, but what the pieces can do. And then you go real advanced, you know, like D&D, where like I have special abilities. You might have special abilities that I don't even know about. So I like that sort of learning experience where you're like, oh dang, like I didn't know that enemy was going to do that, and then it changes everything for your gameplay. So I like turn-based games. It's not something that I play a lot though.
Yeah.
Like I feel like I should
You
play
think
more.
it's like a pace kind of thing? Like it's not, I don't know. Like the pace is too slow.
I think for me, like I like playing turn-based games like auto chess games like what's that game? Team Fight Tactics, games like that. But I don't feel like I like streaming them because I can't. Like I feel like I really have to pay attention. Like I have to know like what's happening in them. Because I like if it's a card based game, like I need to read all the cards, and I feel like I focus too much on it versus when I'm not streaming. I feel like I can sit there and just read a card until it's done. Magic's like that. Like it would be really hard for me to play Magic while I'm streaming because I'm so slow at comprehending what that card means. Like I feel
I'm
like
slow when it comes to solitaire. You know what I mean? Like I look over the whole board and I'm just like, okay, I know this is a move I can make, but then I'm like over analyzing and I'm thinking way
it's
too
like
much
yourself
about,
out.
and when you put a paragraph on each of these freaking cards, it's gonna be all day. I'm gonna take all day for my turn.
And then if
I feel you.
If I'm streaming and then I look over for a second to read a chat like message and then I look back over and I'm like, oh god, like what does this card say? Like what like and then I feel like I'm just doing things that are silly and like Hearthstone, like no way could I stream like a game like Hearthstone. I'd be like, don't talk to me. I'm trying to focus.
Well, yeah, but some turn-based games disguise it fairly well. Like Pokemon is so charming. I feel like you don't even realize that you're playing like a turn-based game.
Yeah.
Because it's always been the same, and it's not that there's a lot of that's one thing what I like about turn-based games is like the amount of strategy involved. Because like personally I don't like tactical games where you're like moving your character on like a number of squares and then doing something.
Yeah.
But I do like a chance to miss, and like just taking turns picking like, should I attack or defend, or should I heal myself or my partner, or should I do fire damage so that I can capitalize on that later once he's burned or something, you know? I like thinking ahead like chess, like what you were saying. So anyway, all that's just to say that's not what we're dealing with in Peglin, though, right? Because like it's a lot of luck in a way.
Yeah, it feels like a lot of luck because you're drawing certain things, like you're finding these different relics. But it is turn-based, and I feel like it's the good part of turn-based where you don't have to like sit there and read for 600 years about what it is. Like the relics do something. It seems like it's pretty straightforward what they do. And that you're just trying to remember like what you need to stack moving forward. And this is all me not playing it, only watching the Spiffing Brit play it and the trailer.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
it could be hella hard. I don't know. Like it could be. I could get into it and I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah, oftentimes with roguelike games too, or like say Slay the Spire, for example. The other night I loaded up Slay the Spire. I made it maybe like 3 turns in and I shut it off and I was like, I'm not trying to do math tonight. Because in a lot of ways I'm just doing mental math trying to make sure I know the amount of damage I'm about to take, or I know the amount of damage I'm gonna inflict to know what's gonna happen the following turn. And I'm doing a lot of math in my head. And I want to play a game and not be like, even though it's simple math. It's so simple, but it's just a little extra. Extra that I don't want to deal with.
If somebody comes at me and they're like, what's 8 plus 15? I'm gonna be like, shut up. I don't know.
Shut up.
I don't know.
It's a 22. Nailed it.
Solid. So
23? It's 23, isn't it?
What's a rogue like compared to a rogue light? What is that? I feel like I've always said roguelike like. Yeah, but I've heard other people say roguelike light lite. Am I wrong? Am I right?
It's like,
are you wrong?
There is a difference. But I use it kind of like
synonym?
caramel kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like
synonymous.
There's some situations where caramel kind of sounds better, maybe when you're reading it or something. But then caramel in conversation, right?
Yeah.
I feel, I don't know. So the real difference, I think, and you could fact check me, somebody fact check me, leave a comment later. Roguelite is more like you die and you restart. Okay. There's nothing to aid you when you restart. There's nothing you carry over to the next thing. And a roguelike is like you do have permanent things that you earn throughout each run to slowly build up. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think so.
It's like, yeah, it's a run-based game where when you die, you restart and you bring some stuff back with you.
Okay.
And that's like as opposed to light, which is you bring nothing back with you and you completely restart from square one. I could have those mixed up though.
I think I've always called them all roguelikes. I feel like
I just say like or light, or I say both.
Or whatever you feel like.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like you. What do you say, caramel?
No, I don't.
I thought you might because you have a stand-up desk.
Well, I have said caramel in the past.
Oh, okay. When your when your desk is elevated, you say caramel. Yeah. When your desk is down, you say caramel. Okay.
When I'm drinking my tea with my pinky out, I say caramel. Yeah.
Well, what are your?
I'm reading what a light versus a like is. Okay. Google says often the difference in roguelite versus roguelike lies in whether a game adheres to or breaks from hard lines about what a rogue game is. That doesn't help me at all.
Thanks,
roguelite games incorporate some level of permanent out of run progression. Roguelite, out of run progression. So roguelike is no out of run progression. So I had it backwards. But anyway, that's the difference.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So like Enter the Gungeon is like a road.
I've already forgot.
Enter the Gungeon is a road light because you can go back in and. Or no, you.
When you die.
Yeah.
Do you take anything back to your home base to upgrade things?
Now I'm confused about what the game even is now. No, I can't even remember what you do in the game now. Vampire Survivors is a rogue light because you upgrade, you get coins and you can upgrade things, and then you go back and.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. A rogue like would be like Rogue, the game, the namesake.
Yeah.
And that's where we'll leave it. That's where
we'll
leave
stop
it right there.
What is your initial impression on Peglin? What are you going to rank it right now? You haven't played it. Give it a rank based on 0 to 5 gameplay that you've seen.
For Peglin, based on what I've seen, I give it a solid 3. I'll bust 3.5 pegs out of 5.
3.5 pegs out of 5.
Busted.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm busting those pegs. 3.5 out of 5 for Peglin. Fingers unplayed. Game unplayed. What do you think, Tooth? What's your rating?
I was
How
gonna.
many pegs you busting?
I was gonna go kind of low on it because it doesn't seem like a game that I would play. Like, it doesn't seem like a game I would buy. So I was gonna go like a 2.7. But I like the little Peglin character.
He's a cute little guy.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go 3 out of 5. Bussin' pegs.
Bussin' pegs, baby.
We're gonna write that down somewhere. Write that down. Hey, camera people. Editor. Write that down. Editor.
Hey, editor.
Hey.
Get this later.
Get this. Yeah, write that down.
Okay, why don't I just do it now? 3.5 for me. 3. All right.
Yeah.
So this is now before we end the episode, because we are running a little long, huh? But
I don't think so.
I mean, not yet. But if we do all the stuff we had planned, then we
That's
would.
true. That's true.
And so I want to end tonight's episode. Oh, and yeah, I want to end Indie Iceberg first. Shout out. And I want to talk about the next level of realism in FPS games that we're seeing lately. I feel like this is something that's coming up like kind of hot on Twitter, all over YouTube, and there's a few specific FPS games that have been announced that we see trailers for that look insane, utilizing Unreal Engine 5, body cam cinematography. It's like not cinematography, but it's done in a specific way to make you feel a certain way. That's what cinematography is, right?
That's true.
Very specific cinematography to make you think and feel like it's real. And I don't know. I'm kind of curious what you think about that, Tooth, and what does this footage make you feel like?
I feel when I first watched it, I felt a little uncomfortable.
Which game? Which game are you talking about?
I'm thinking
we have a couple here.
I'm thinking Unrecorded, and I'm just gonna play some footage from it.
Cool.
And so I'm gonna say that I felt a little uncomfortable, not because I think that video games induce violence. I'm gonna make that claim that I don't think that. Like, I think that if you were going to shoot people, like, you would do that no matter what. I feel like you're probably gonna do that. I don't think you need a video game to do it for you. But I will say that all of the body cam footage that has come out in really bad, like, civil unrest in the United States, just collectively, body cam footage makes me uncomfortable.
Sure.
And so that's one thing with it, is that an FPS game that kind of draws back some of that stuff is discomforting. But I'll say that it is crazy that we're at this level. Okay? Crazy.
Oh, damn. That was intense.
It's intense, right?
Sorry, I just watched that shooting go down. Yeah, see, that's intense.
It's intense.
It looks. I've heard other people say it, but I feel like there should be a live leak watermark in the corner. You know, like it almost, as it gets darker in the footage, it doesn't look as real.
Yeah.
But that outside footage with all the lighting, it looks really good. And in the warehouse here with all the lighting, it looks really, really real. Really good. And I think it's what it makes me think about is Mortal Kombat. And by that, I mean, when Mortal Kombat came out, all the moms and Karens were all worried about the blood and the gore and the violence and the hyper realism. which we look at now and scoff. It's so silly. We
Yeah.
have such realistic games out now, but I feel like we should get a similar reaction to this as we did with Mortal Kombat, but just in a different way. Because there's not like a bunch of blood and guts, but you're literally walking through a building with a gun, shooting people you come across. Like that harkens back to a lot of things going on right now.
Yeah, it really does.
Not like right now and just lately. And but also part of me feels like this is art, and art is often greatly influenced by what's happening in the world.
It's true.
So like you were saying, the past few years, lots of body cam footage we've been seeing. I feel like it's inspired by a lot of the body cam footage that's out there available to watch.
Yeah.
And so to make a creation based on that makes sense. There's so much out there. Why wouldn't you be influenced to try to make a playable experience? It just kind of, it's the next step. It makes sense.
I will say that if I played it, I would be like, I think it's a game that I would jump a lot.
Yeah.
I feel like it would be a crazy game to have a heart rate monitor on. I feel like my heart rate is kind of up right now just watching the footage like pop around the corner.
Yeah.
Like, it's pretty crazy. Like the realism in it is wild. Like there's been a lot of people that have talked about it being like BS, like that it's fake, that people were just like faking it. But since then, the creator of it has put out more footage showing it from the Unreal Engine 5 box, like showing various different things, shooting before it's even in there, like all these different things to show that this is possible to do. I just wonder if you're gonna have a 4090 to run it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
How quickly is your immersion going to be broken when you get frame rate stuttering and screen space fractal and shit going on? Yeah.
I will say one that I saw today. It was just released 2 days ago. Is one called Paranormal Tales.
Paranormal Tales.
It's a body cam horror footage, and it gives me like really big like Blair Witch like movie vibes.
Paranormal Activity.
Yeah, Paranormal Activity vibes. So
yeah. Ugh. Yeah.
It's a hard
no.
It's a hard no for me right now.
Oh, I would 100% play that, and I would just scream like a little girl, and I'd own it, because that's just, how could you not?
It's scary. That's scary, bro.
It makes me think of like found footage movies like Cloverfield.
Yeah.
Like District 9, I think, is a similar like found footage, or like a person holding a camera, you know?
Yeah.
And it gives me those kinds of like homemade almost vibes.
I'm a big found
we shouldn't
footage.
Be watching this.
Yeah.
You know, this is naughty. We shouldn't be watching this. Like, eyes shouldn't be on this. Like, put the live leak watermark in the corner. Make me fully immersed, thinking it's something like terrible I'm watching.
Yeah.
Luckily, it's fake. Like, make me feel glad that it's fake, because boy, that would suck if it was real. You know? Like, I want to be scared, but also implications of that, it's kind of scary. I don't know.
Yeah.
Because I really don't feel like we should push video games to a point where they are the thing that are driving people to violence, you know?
Like it's so real that like I think the VR is going to have a lot to play in it, as long as it's not released in VR. Even though like VR, like body cam would be a weird perspective for VR. Like it wouldn't be very good. Like I would throw up, like honestly.
That'd be strange.
But I'm a big fan of like found footage films. Like I like horror movies are my favorite genre, and I've always looked,
which, like you said,
and I've always looked for something that like scares me. I haven't found it yet. Like I haven't found anything that I've watched that I'm like, oh my god, I'm kind of like fucked up after that. Like I can't do anything. Like that's what it feels like. But I haven't found it. Like I haven't found that film. But that game is pretty scary. Like I watched that footage. I feel like if you're in a dark room, like you're immersed in it, like that the body cam like perspective, like I feel like that could get it. Like that's pretty freaky.
I think there's like little things about, especially unrecorded, when you're watching the gameplay. The moment when he like looks around the corner and there's the guy at the end of the hallway, and
Yeah.
he's shooting as he's retreating,
Yeah.
and he's shooting the wall in front of him. Like it's inaccurate. There's certain animations there that feel fake because it's like it just doesn't like how could you program that like that peek around the corner and then like oh shit like panic shooting as you're retreating to get
Yeah.
behind cover. That's like so real, that's so human.
Yeah.
And it's something you don't get in Call of Duty, because in Call of Duty if you're not precise, then the player hates it, you know.
Yeah.
If it's not like either I'm aiming in or I'm not, I don't know. I feel like there's little things like that that this is really nailing, that that sells it really
Yeah.
well.
Yeah, I think
So
so.
hats off to the devs.
I think like there's a lot of people complaining about it right now, but I, you know, they're gonna play it. People are buying it. People are gonna play it. Like,
And
it's gonna happen.
I'm excited. I want to see it. I know Paranormal Tales, that other game you were talking about. They Digital Cyber Cherries. I think that's the devs. That's the developer's name.
What? I didn't look at the developer.
I'm pretty sure that's what it says. Developer, publisher, Digital Cyber Cherries.
Nice.
They made that Hypercharge Unboxed, that like GI Joe toy PvE game. I never ended up playing that. It's like a third person. And then I'm trying to see if they made anything else significant, because I don't know. I'm curious if I've played anything by them, but no, I don't think so. So I don't know. We'll see how this goes, but I'm excited to see. Yeah, Paranormal Tales. I like the spooky games.
Yeah,
and then even Unrecorded looks pretty spooky. So
I like that people are pushing the envelope for Unreal Engine 5. Like we talked about it. Like what was it? 2 episodes ago, we talked about Unreal Engine. I like that people are pushing the platform to see what it can do. And I don't know yet if I think that we should go there or not. Because I don't know, like I feel like some of the games like X Defiant, X Defiant and the other one, the Boundary that you've been playing, the movement in those games like are sort of like make me like give me a little bit of motion sickness, and I feel like the
quease.
Yeah, a little. And so I feel like Unrecorded will do the same thing.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
It's a weird perspective.
It's something about the frame rate, like it has to be like you have to really nail like all the movements, and you have to release it at the correct frame rate. Like maybe it's not 60 FPS, maybe it's closer to 30.
That is 24.
24, yeah.
Yeah, that cinematic frame rate.
The cinematic, right? Yeah, like it feels like it needs to be, because the faster the frame rate we're going to start putting stuff out, the more I'm like, if I'm at 240 FPS and I'm watching that game, I'm like,
yeah,
I can't do it. I don't think.
No,
my brain,
too much.
A little brain.
But I don't know. I'm excited. I would definitely try these games in VR. Personally, I would
in VR.
Yeah, I'd pop that on my dome and give it a shot. Because why not? It's not real. I'll get in there and give it a try and get my pants scared right off of me, and then I'll deal with it, or I'll have nightmares, or I'll come on the next episode and I'll say, Tooth, an actually scary thing. If you want to actually be scared, do this.
Do this thing. What if you put it in VR and then you look up and you see the person's chin because you're on the body cam? What if that's an Easter egg in the VR version?
You see like a beard.
Yeah.
Interesting. That's not that's an interesting thought, because in a lot of games you look down and you don't see your feet.
No.
But you should.
There's a mod for Fallout New Vegas to see your feet.
Really?
What a weird mod.
Do they give you like big clown feet or something?
No, I was watching somebody play it the other day, and they were playing like a super modded version. They were like, yeah, I even have a mod to look down and see my feet. And I was like, that's a hyper specific mod to make.
Honestly, Why not?
Yeah.
You're trying to be immersed in your video game. Give me
true.
some feet, damn it.
Give me some feet. I have feet.
Well, you do indeed. Not clown shoe feet.
Not
regular
clown.
feet.
Yeah, Crocs.
With 12 toes.
12 toes.
Yep, Tooth has 12 toes. Put that in the wiki. Mark it on the wiki feet.
And I wear a Croc on them.
Yeah, custom made, extra wide for his extra toes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Croc's the only brand that would make them for me.
Yeah, they have a little toe pocket on the side that you can slip your extra toe into. Yeah, so anyway, this has been episode 31 of Mustache Ride.
Yeah.
If you're here, thank you. If you're watching later, thank you. If you're watching in 20 years when this is the last piece of media on the internet, I'm sorry. The internet had a lot better stuff on it than this, but
no, this was top. This was top of the internet.
Aliens, if you're watching this,
thank you.
I mean, I think we're pretty all right people. Good, decent representation of the the world. Don't
probe me, please.
But also like we're not a good representation or a good depiction of the whole world. So aliens,
I'm not
grain of salt with these guys.
I'm not good enough to abduct and probe. Just so you know.
I am. Please don't.
Pick someone else.
Yeah, just pick someone else.
Pick someone else, please.
Go to the farm. Go get another cow. Anyway, aliens, thanks for watching. And thanks for all you guys. Thanks to all you guys watching too. We hope you had a good time. Remember, you can contact us at mustacheridepod@gmail.com if you'd like to participate in the show, make the show better. Send in your questions or your comments or your corrections if we got something wrong. Surely we got something wrong. You could correct us. That's okay.
Roguelike versus roguelite.
I might just crumple it up. I might print it out just so I can crumple it up and throw it in the trash. But do it anyway, because like it's important. That's how we get better. So anyway, contact mustacheridepod@gmail.com. And you can also reach each of us at our personal Twitch and YouTube channels or Twitter profile pages, all that good stuff. And all those links will be down in the description below. And that's it. Tooth, you got anybody in mind to raid tonight?
I could definitely have some.